In John chapter 4, it says that Jesus was travelling to Galilee and he had to go through an area called Samaria. It's not actually true. He didn't have to go that way, but he chose to. And that choice led him to an encounter with a Samaritan woman. It was about the 6th hour and Jesus was tired and he sat down at Jacob's well, and a woman came up and he said these words, "Will you give me a drink?" In doing so, Jesus was crossing boundaries. In Kester Bruin's book, The Complex Christ, he describes them as dirt boundaries, lines that we are not allowed to cross, lines that define who is clean and unclean, who is in and who is out, who's acceptable and who's not. And for the Jews, Samaritans were not acceptable. Dirt boundaries are the artificial boundaries that rise up and separate human being from human being. And throughout the stories of Jesus, we see him crossing those boundaries with words and actions over and over again. When he meets Zacchaeus, he says, "I'm coming to your house for tea." When he sees a funeral procession passing, he reaches up and touches a coffin. And in this moment, he says to a Samaritan woman, "Will you give me a drink?" "How can you, a Jew, ask me, a Samaritan, for a drink?" she says. Easily, just like this. You're a human being, made in the image of God, made in the image of my Father. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are beloved. What are the divisions, the dirt boundaries that we have adopted, that we have allowed to rise up and separate us from other human beings made in the image of God, beloved by God? Let's think about that today and think about ways that we can step across dirt boundaries and reach out in simple words and actions to other human beings.